Hello friends, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. Now in this video, really what I want to focus on is the forum update that came out on the 10th. Now, this is the forum update that talked about the First Order Executioner. It told us that we were getting him in one of our marquee events. It also told us that we were getting Thrawn, he was coming back, and the Chimera was coming back, which I'm really excited about because I've got Thrawn 12 star, or Gear 12. I've got him 7 star. I love him. I think he's great. But his ship, for me, I've only got him 5 star, which sucks. So I need to get it up and I need to get better. So really excited about that. But what I'm most excited about is this little tidbit of information here at the bottom that talks about what's ahead. And now I've speculated wildly, and a lot of the videos that I've made that have speculated wildly have come to fruition. This is a speculation video. It is pure speculation. I do not know whether or not this is true. This will come to pass. I have no idea. But I do think that this quote, this line in the what's ahead that says, hold on to what you love, is Rose. That means we are going to be getting a Rose added to the game. Now, for those of you who haven't seen episode 8, Rose is the girl that runs the side mission with Finn. She is a resistance mechanic. She's kind of like Bodhi Rook, but not a pilot and just a mechanic. But she and Finn and BB-8 go on this wild adventure, and you know, it's awesome. Now, this video will have a few spoilers because what I want to do is look at who she is in canon, who she is in the movie, and how she can be added to the game. Now, with that, I think that Rose obviously is going to be a Resistance character. That makes the most amount of sense. I think she could be a pilot, but I think that is less likely. I think what's more likely is we could get another pilot, First Order or Resistance bomber, you know, in the form of her sister. We do have her sister is introduced in the movie, and I think it would be interesting to see a Resistance bomber introduced, right? Would be super cool. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I think it would be neat for sure. I think that she's going to have an affinity, some kind of connection with Finn and quite possibly BB-8. Now, the reason I say that is because once Rey Jedi Training came in, Finn kind of took a back seat as a leader of the Resistance teams, right? Finn's great. A Zeta Finn is a really solid team. And if you want to get through all of Territory Wars or the Galactic War, running a Resistance team is a lot of fun to play. But once Jedi Rey came in, her ability is more consistent. Her connection with BB-8 is stronger. There's some other stuff, and Finn just really took a back seat as far as a leader goes. Now, I think a Rose addition to the Resistance team would reinforce Finn as a leader. And the reason I say that is because this game is all about allocation, resource allocation, time allocation. Where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your energy? And so many people have put into all of these characters, and they're not trying to make old characters useless. They're trying to make everyone useful, hence why they go back and they do these updates. Why eventually we'll see Coruscant Underworld Police with 3 Zetas. That's what I want to see. But they're going back and giving love to these characters. And I think sometimes they introduce new characters to make sure that some of the stronger ones don't get forgotten. And I think that's what they're doing with a Rose. Now, there's a few things that I think that she's going to have. I think if she does have an affinity with Finn or a connection with Finn, some kind of tie with Finn, I think what we'll see is something that either emboldens him as a leader, gives him stronger taunt, or gives him a stronger defense, more survivability. I think she could definitely have a healing factor, and I think she's going to have stun. Now, those are the 3 things that I think she's going to have. I think she's going to have a solid stun. Now, in the last video that I did, when I mentioned Rose, there were a few comments that said it would be awesome to see her have stun. One commenter in particular said that they would like to see her have a 100% stun. That would be awesome, but I think that might be too much for her too. I think it would be pretty sweet to have her with a really high potential stun. So maybe like an 85 or a 75. We do have abilities that have a really high chance at that. I think 5's counter is an 85% chance. It's not a 100% chance. He counters all the time, but it's, you know, his normal counter is just 85. And there's other abilities like that that have a really high percentage of triggering. And I think it would be cool to see Rose with that, with a really high stun chance. Not just 50, not just 60, but like 85, even 90. I think that would be awesome. 100 would be a little too much, I think, but it would be really cool. I also think it'd be neat to see her as a resistance healer. We don't have one. We just don't. It would be neat to have a resistance healer. There are characters and abilities on the resistance team that do give back health, that do give back protection, but aren't technically healing or just full-on healers. And I think it would be neat to see that, right? To see Rose have that ability. And then finally, and this is kind of spoilery, if you haven't seen episode 8, please stop now. I mean, unless you're watching episode 8 right now in the theater. But if you're watching episode 8 right now in the theater, why are you watching me? Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Leave the theater, finish my video, then go watch episode 8. But I do think that she is going to have some kind of revivability feature, something that she can save someone from the brink of death. Maybe, if not fully revive them. We see that in episode 8. Again, I did warn you. But I think it would be neat to see that. I think it would be cool. Now, again, if she does have some kind of connection with Finn, she's obviously going to provide expose. If she does have a connection with BB-8, hopefully she's able to give some kind of like turn meter reduction or ability counter reduction. That would be kind of neat, because then you could lower BB-8's ability to strike faster, right? That ultimate weapon that he has could go faster with that. Now, if she was a healer, I think under a Jedi Ray, that would make her just the most frustrating character in the world. But I still think it would be a lot of fun to have her. Now, personally, and I'll end with this, my favorite ability that I have just given to her, if it were up to me, this is an ability that I would give her. It's called the Call of the Favier. And essentially what it is she calls from off screen Faviers, so the little horse dogs in episode 8, to attack, to trample the enemy, right? To trample, and we see that. That's not a spoiler. That was in the commercial, right? But it would be neat to have that, right? A lot of factions have that. I mean, we do have that in the First Order faction, or the Resistance faction, to some extent, but not to the same extent as First Order, as the Ewoks, even as so many of the other factions have. It would be cool to have that type of ability, to have it to where she can call these, I don't know, I view them as like chocobos. For those of you who played Final Fantasy games, you know, you could call of the chocobo, and the chocobo would run in and just tackle everything and knock stuff over and trample them down. Anyways, that's what I think that would be really cool to see. I do think that she's going to come in the same form that we saw First Order Executioner, in a form of a marquee event, maybe on February 14th, Valentine's Day, because the love between Finn and Rose is strong. Probably before that, though. That would be my thought. I do think that we could see a First Order or Resistance pilot coming with her, but that is very unlikely in my mind, simply because First Order Executioner came with no one. We've had this where, you know, they introduce one major character, then a side character. I would like to see Rose's big sister come in and play the role of a bomber, or just a pilot, a First Order pilot, who really doesn't do much except die. But if she does survive long enough, her bombs go off and boom, everyone just rocks, and everyone, you know, dreadnoughts get taken out. Anyways, That's what I think. What would you like to see from a Rose kit? Do you think I'm right about this, the what's ahead? It's clearly, to me, an indication of Rose. I think it's clear to most people who've seen the movie that this is referring to Rose. But what do you think? Leave a comment in the section below. Like, subscribe, share. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. And as always, my friends, stay nerdy.